Let me ask you a question, Cuffy. At any time during the initial stages of your indictment involving this whole Tammy Commons thing, did you talk to Big Meech or did you send a message to Big Meech in any way to tell him or to alert him of what was going on?
We sent Big Meech certified mail. Big Meech set me up and Tammy set me up with the sting in 2013.
With the BMF TV series launch in 2021 and producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson at the helm, the story of Big Meech is back in the public eye. Fans have excitedly tuned in to see how BMF's rise and fall would be portrayed on screen. However, what might have started as a straightforward adaptation has allegedly turned into something much more controversial.
He's like, I just gotta wait to holler at Tammy before, you know what I'm saying, I know where we at with that. And Tammy is a government informant. So when he said that, I was like, Tammy, what you mean, Tammy? Like, nigga, you ain't heard what's going on with her?
Accusations of snitching, rumors of silent cooperation with federal agents, and the shadowy involvement of unlikely informants have begun to circulate. Amid all this tumult, a single question resonates. Did Big Meech really work with the authorities? Or is 50 Cent fueling a campaign of sensationalism to serve his own interests?
Well, did Blue Da Vinci cooperate or no?
Yeah, he cooperated. I mean, I didn't see it. It was in Miss Mara Shalhoub's book, where his own lawyer said, yeah, if there was anything else that we could do, Your Honor, to help you along with this case, my client would be more than willing to cooperate with you all to help you in this investigation. But now the thing of it is by you admitting what was done, you know what I'm saying, what you done or whatever, but bottom line is, you know, you didn't take the single plea. You went in and was giving them information on that they already had and thought it was cool, but you still, you know, that was part of that. You just confirmed other that the other CIs just done told.
This narrative delves into the twists and turns behind these accusations, centering on an individual named Tammy Commons, a figure once trusted by Meech, and widely, unknown to the general public until she became a lightning rod for rumor.
One night, and then my homeboy that was with me, he was like, Tone Bird, he from BMF too. Tone was like, ask Big Homie what's up with the movie with 50, like what's going on with him from New York. I had to use my New York accent. Yo, what's going on with the 50 Cent movie? So I'm like, oh, yo, Meech, what's up with the movie, with the TV show? Like, where y'all at with that? He like, oh man, it's almost done. The contract almost done. It's almost done. We're gonna be starting. They're gonna be, you know, starting to cast it or whatever, right? He's like, I just gotta wait to holler at Tammy before, you know what I'm saying, I know where we at with that. And Tammy is a government informant. So when he said that, I was like, Tammy, what you mean, Tammy? Like, nigga, you ain't heard what's going on with her? And they were like, shit, nigga, I heard shit, but whatever it is, that shit ain't got shit to do with me. And he was like, man, I'm gonna hit you back. I'm like, all right, that's the last time I ever talked to him.
Along the way, we encounter longtime BMF affiliate Barima Blue Da Vinci McKnight, as well as the convicted trafficker Dion Cuffy Gatling, who now claims Meech leveraged third-party cooperation to shield himself from potential indictments. Through it all, the story circles back to 50 Cent, who teased documents and rumors that threatened Big Meech's untarnished persona. Whether it's truth or mere hype, the revelations have certainly changed the conversation around the man once, deemed the mastermind of BMF, and the lines between loyalty and betrayal, fact and fabrication, have become more blurred than ever. In the 1980s, as hip-hop culture and street hustle collided, two brothers from Detroit began to garner local fame for their resourceful brand of entrepreneurship. Demetrius Big Meech Flannery and his younger brother Terry, Southwest T. Flannery started as small-time dealers selling $50 bags in neighborhoods that were hungry for a new supply. From there, they expanded into a broader drug trafficking operation that eventually spread beyond Detroit, taking root in Atlanta, Los Angeles, and multiple other cities. By the early 2000s, the Flannery brothers had assembled a network so expansive.
Now, during the course of this informant relationship, she becomes involved romantically with the supervisory special agent over the task force.
That's Keith Crumb.
So in and of itself, that's going to jeopardize everything that they got going on with respect to the investigation. So she ends up receiving like $200,000 as an informant, where he's the one who signed it off. So now he's maintaining an improper financial relationship with an informant, whom he's also maintaining an improper relationship.
that the federal government could no longer ignore it. To disguise their operation, the Flannery brothers launched a front called BMF Entertainment. On the surface, it was a music promotion and artist management outfit, a move that cleverly blended the flash of rap culture with the hidden intricacies of laundering money. BMF's brand soared on the nightlife circuit, with party flyers and promotional materials brandishing the now iconic letters BMF. This visibility undoubtedly made them look legitimate to unsuspecting onlookers, but it also served as a beacon to federal authorities who began to investigate what was really going on behind the scenes. Eventually, the government came knocking. In 2003, federal agents raided BMF-affiliated properties and arrested multiple members, including Big Meech himself. The officials alleged that the organization was responsible for trafficking colossal volumes of cocaine across multiple state lines. The convictions that followed were damning. Many of BMF's key players found themselves locked away for decades. For Demetrius Flannery, a man accustomed to nightclubs, VIP sections, and luxurious mansions, the sudden shift to a maximum security prison cell was dramatic. The empire he had helped build was crumbling. Many co-conspirators were in custody, and others would continue to be rounded up. Amid the legal chaos, rumors surfaced about who might have cooperated with investigators. Some pointed fingers at a BMF rapper named Blue Da Vinci, known for releasing an album under BMF Entertainment in 2005, because he managed to avoid arrest at the same time others were swept up. But was Blue Da Vinci really the sole or even the chief informant? For years, the entire BMF circle believed so. Court documents did show that he attempted a safety valve session, meaning he was ready to debrief federal agents. However, that arrangement reportedly fell through because he didn't provide particularly damning information. Ultimately, it appeared he offered only the scraps the feds already knew. Hence, the question remained, if Blue Da Vinci wasn't the primary source of incriminating evidence, then who was? Some answers began to surface when Blue Da Vinci, in a 2023 interview, revealed another name most people had never heard before: Tammy Cowens. According to official documents, Tammy was Meech's close associate, entrusted with critical tasks following his incarceration. Not only was she in frequent contact with Meech, but she also secured legal rights to his life story in 2008, putting her in the unique position to broker deals about how that story would be told to the public. It was through these channels that she reportedly connected with 50 Cent and helped co-produce the high-profile BMF television series. However, buried within this tale of loyal business partnerships and entertainment deals was a secret. Paperwork surfaced identifying Tammy as CS1, or a confidential source who began assisting the DEA's Atlanta division as early as 2009. Unlike the typical informant narrative, where someone is pressured by threats of prison time or financial desperation, Tammy's situation was different. She had no prior criminal record, faced no pending charges, and received no upfront payment when she started cooperating. The explanation that eventually emerged was startling. She had found out a man named Terry White was using her to launder money without her knowledge. Feeling betrayed, she exacted her vengeance by cooperating with the authorities. Deepening cooperation. And a shocking betrayal. While that might explain Tammy's initial motivations, it didn't clarify the full scope of her cooperation, which extended beyond the Terry White case. The federal documents also linked her to an ongoing investigation into high-volume cocaine trafficking, orchestrated by or around Big Meech, even while he was behind bars. And that's where Fidel Suarez and Dion Cuffy Gatling enter the story. Suarez was, according to investigations, a trucking magnate in California with cartel connections. He had already been arrested twice under suspicion of drug trafficking, but managed to walk free both times due to insufficient evidence. From prison, Meech allegedly sought Suarez's pipeline to maintain his distribution activities on the outside. But since Meech himself was locked away, he would require a bridge to put all the pieces together, and according to these documents, that bridge was Tammy. Tammy spoke directly to Suarez, connecting him to Meech's contact, Dion Cuffy Gatling, who had been operating in St. Louis for years, funneling narcotics throughout the region. If the allegations hold true, Meech was attempting to keep BMF's distribution channels alive, even from within the prison system, using Suarez and Cuffy as key cogs in his covert operation. Whereas Suarez slipped through legal traps before, Gatling would not be so lucky. In 2014, Federal agents arrested him, armed with evidence they claimed to have obtained from wiretaps and confidential sources, Tammy among them. Gatling's subsequent conviction included a 27-year prison sentence for drug trafficking and involvement in violent acts that included orchestrating murders of perceived snitches. His reputation as a dangerous figure was well documented, leading many to believe that once he learned of Tammy's role, her life was in serious peril. Fearing that she would be exposed as a confidential informant, Tammy sought protection from federal agencies. However, receiving no assistance, she looked to Big Meech for help. The man who once entrusted her with his life rights, the man she had done business with, was unwilling to intervene. According to Tammy's account, Meech insisted he wanted no connection to the chaos swirling around Gatling's case. Feeling cornered, Tammy went further. She claimed that a DEA agent she had become intimately involved with had fabricated Meech's role in the wiretap affidavits out of personal jealousy. She planned to draft an unsworn affidavit to distribute to every relevant attorney, the judge, and others involved in the trial. This affidavit would contradict earlier statements and disclaim any involvement on Meech's part. Regardless of whether her motive was to protect Meech or to shield herself from retaliation, the entire ordeal cast doubt on everyone's claims and left swirling rumors about the depth of Meech's involvement with authorities. Perhaps the biggest puzzle piece in this labyrinth is why Big Meech was never formally indicted for arranging new drug deals from behind bars. By all accounts, if Tammy's information was so pivotal that it helped bring down traffickers like Gatling, then Meech would have been the prime culprit. Yet the conspiracy charges never surfaced for Meech. The explanation, as provided by Dion Cuffey Gatling from prison, comes down to third-party cooperation. In Gatling's telling, Meech carefully distanced himself from any direct line of contact with federal agents. Instead, he relied on someone else, Tammy or possibly other intermediaries, to feed the authorities just enough information to ensure that he himself stayed protected. The result was that he remained uncharged, while associates like Cuffey faced life-altering consequences. Those allegations remain largely unproven in a courtroom. However, street lore and prison rumor have their own rules. The notion that Meech might have leveraged someone else's cooperation to keep the heat off himself is enough to cast a shadow on his otherwise mythic street credibility. Regardless of the truth, the brand that once stood for secrecy and impenetrable loyalty is now smeared by suspicion and open questions. No stranger to controversy or publicity, 50 Cent capitalized on the renewed fascination with the BMF story. Early hints came when he tweeted or posted about supposed paperwork implicating Big Meech in cooperation with the feds. Given 50's track record of public feuds, ranging from rappers to media personalities, some observers saw this as yet another tactic to generate buzz and ratings for the BMF series. Others, especially those who had once revered Meech, were genuinely concerned that 50 might have found legitimate receipts tying Meech to behind-the-scenes deals with law enforcement. When 50 Cent speaks, people tend to listen, whether out of excitement or skepticism. He claimed he would release a damning tell-all that would lay out Meech's involvement, possibly upending the entire narrative that BMF's founder never cooperated. However, not everyone agrees that 50's motivations are purely about truth. The potential financial windfall from heightened publicity and viewer engagement for his projects suggests an overlap of entertainment and exposure. These swirling allegations haven't just impacted Meech's personal legacy. They've reverberated across the hip-hop community and street culture. BMF, once celebrated and feared as an untouchable syndicate, is now the subject of conflicting claims. Some fans and affiliates staunchly defend Big Meech, describing him as a man who never once compromised his loyalty, a status symbol for integrity in the face of the federal government's attempts to dismantle Black Mafia family. Others side with 50 Cent's insinuations, pointing to the suspicious circumstances where Meech avoided further charges, while numerous associates, including Cuffey, were buried under lengthy sentences. To complicate matters further, the ties between informants and their federal handlers often remain opaque. The revelation that Tammy was romantically involved with a DEA agent assigned to the BMF case has the potential to break down public trust in the fairness of the investigations. If an agent compromised his professional duties due to a personal relationship, there may indeed be misconduct. The back-and-forth accusations have cast an atmosphere of confusion over what is and isn't true in these ongoing BMF investigations and narratives. Big Meech's public persona has, for the most part, been that of a loyal street legend, someone who accepted his fate, refused to cooperate, and served his time without bringing others down. This storyline made him an almost heroic figure in certain circles, a symbol of unwavering fidelity to street codes. Yet if 50 Cent's threatened expose does indeed see the light of day, that perception may change dramatically. Even the mere existence of these allegations, with or without ironclad proof, is enough to stir uncertainty among those who've idolized Meech. As for Tammy Cowens, her name is now forever entwined with the BMF saga. Once discreet and little known outside key circles, she has emerged as a central figure in these controversies, perhaps the ultimate wildcard. Although she initially claimed her cooperation stemmed from personal betrayal by Terry White, it evidently did not stop there. Whether out of necessity, fear, or strategic planning, she played multiple sides in federal investigations, and in certain instances lied or changed her story under oath to protect Meech. That double-edged betrayal has, on the one hand, indicted multiple traffickers and, on the other, left the door open for speculation that Big Meech stayed out of trouble only through her manipulations. The swirl of rumors, confirmed documents, and on-the-record statements form a puzzle that still lacks a definitive picture. Was Big Meech truly orchestrating drug deals from prison in conjunction with Fidel Suarez and Cuffy Gatling? Did he remain free of additional charges simply because Tammy misled federal agents and courts to shield him? Or, more shockingly, did Meech permit or even encourage Tammy to snitch on others so that he could avoid further indictments? Much of what we know arises from compromised testimonies, partial redactions, and the accounts of convicted felons who have motives of their own to shift blame. On top of that, 50 Cent's teasing of a full expose has turned the situation into a media spectacle, where rumor may overshadow truth and sensational claims serve as clickbait in the broader culture of internet news. For a significant portion of the hip-hop community, there's a sense that the streets are watching. Whether that means Big Meech will face a reevaluation in the court of public opinion remains to be seen. As for 50 Cent, his involvement ensures that none of this drama will fade quietly. He has shown time and again that once he sinks his teeth into a narrative, especially one that can yield massive cultural and financial capital, he refuses to let go until he has squeezed every drop of potential out of it. That's where the story stands for now, a murky intersection of loyalty, betrayal, entertainment, and real-life consequences. The BMF legend continues to captivate audiences, but it is now tainted by the possibility that its central figure may not be as bulletproof against cooperation as was once believed. Whether new paperwork emerges or 50 Cent escalates his campaign, one fact is undeniable. The larger-than-life mythology of Big Meech has taken a serious hit. In a world that thrives on perception, even an unfounded whisper can become a roar, and right now, the roar around Big Meech and his alleged federal dealings is echoing far and wide. Still, we must bear in mind that no public, court-verified evidence definitively proves Big Meech cooperated. Many accuse 50 Cent of stirring the pot primarily to draw eyes to his show. The real truth may lie somewhere between these extremes of unwavering loyalty and outright betrayal. And so, the question lingers, fueling every conversation and headline. Is Big Meech the iconic kingpin who remained loyal to the end, or is he merely better than most at covering his tracks? Until more official evidence comes to light, or until 50 Cent releases whatever alleged bombshell documents he claims to hold. This question will remain, drawing curiosity from fans, fueling debates online, and keeping the BMF story as compelling and controversial as ever.